Hello everyone. Welcome to Salesforce Women in Tech Group Kolkata. We are here with Day-2 of Service Cloud Consultant Certification Bootcamp. We are super thrilled and super excited. A little and quick introduction about me. My name is Khyati Mehta. I am Group Leader of Salesforce Women in Tech Group Kolkata. I am proud to call myself as Salesforce Marketing Champion. Professionally, I work as a Salesforce developer at Solutions. I am 4x Salesforce certified. Apart from this, I also have DevOps knowledge. Hence, I am 2x Copado certified and 1x Professional certified. I love to connect with you all, and I just love to give back to the community. Hence, I am speaker, blogger as well. My blog's name is all about Salesforce. So, agenda of the bootcamp is, before I run to the slides, by Megan. Day 2, which is today, interaction channels, which is 9% of the exam, will be taken by Joey. Knowledge management, which is 10% of the exam, will be taken by Ranjini. So there are some mandates to win the prizes. You need to follow Salesforce WIT group on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and all the community pages. You need to follow Appians on all their social media platforms. You have to RSVP and attend all the 6 days of the bootcamp. Meanwhile, try and stay active and share your learnings. Don't forget to tag us and our sponsors over LinkedIn and Twitter, and use hashtags with Kolkata, with Bootcamp, and Trailblazer community. So I'll just brief you about all the contests that we are running. There will be 3 to 4 questions uploaded just after the session, based on the session, on Salesforce, WIT, LinkedIn, and Twitter page. So all you need to do is just follow the session and go on to our pages and answer the questions with all the rules that I have mentioned earlier. You can post about key takeaways from the session and tag us, and also use the hashtags mentioned. You can also post a video of at most 1 minute wherein you can share your learnings and what you like the best. So sharing a video should be at least not more than 1 minute, and should include your takeaways, what you like, what you dislike. It's all about your feedback. Would love to hear from you. So we'll choose the best video, and there's an awesome swag kit for you guys. Spread awareness about the bootcamp, stay active throughout the bootcamp. So there is also a match tweet competition that is running over Twitter and LinkedIn. All you need to do is tag our sponsors APNs, use our hashtags, and that's it. So this bootcamp, Service Cloud Consultant Certification Bootcamp, is sponsored by APNs. We have Hasti with us representing APNs today. Over to you, Hasti.
This sounds really amazing. So, hello everybody. Welcome to the week 2 of Service Cloud Bootcamp. I'm sure you all had wonderful experiences and learnings from week 1. I'm Hasti from Team FENs. We are Salesforce registered partners. We have and are working with some of the highly reputed organizations and companies globally. Like Khyati said, we are super excited to be part of this wonderful community and extremely delighted to be sponsoring this boot camp where you'll get chance to win amazing and exciting swags and gifts and Amazon vouchers on successful completion of the boot camp. That being said, FENs also organizes bi-monthly LinkedIn live series where we invite industry experts and leaders to share their insights and wisdoms all about all things Salesforce with our audiences. I'll be linking all our social media handles in the comment section so that you can keep an eye out on our upcoming events, and have lots of fun for the week 2 and happy learning.
Thank you, Hasti. Thank you, APNs. We are super happy to have you with us sponsoring this event. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So I am super honored to introduce our Day-2 speaker. His name is Joey Chan. I know that you all know him. He is Salesforce MVP. He is founder and technical architect at Cloud JD. He is also organizer of PH Trimming and Salesforce MVP series. He is a proud community leader and Trailhead mentor and speaker. The second speaker for the day is Ranjani Janardhan. She is working as an enterprise solutions architect at UST. She is also the group leader of WIT Kochi. She's 17x Salesforce certified and as a trailhead ranger. So Joey will be taking up interaction channels for the day, and Ranjani will be taking up knowledge management just after Joey's session. So over to you, Joey, not wasting much of the time.
All right. Could you grant sharing access presenter mode? I don't have
Sorry,
the option.
you don't have the option? Just a second. Could you check now, Joey, please?
All right. Could you confirm if you can? Could you confirm if you can see my screen?
No, I cannot see your screen.
Not
Yes,
yet.
now I can see. Yes.
There you go. So, good afternoon or good evening, everyone. Thank you again for having me here. So, I'm Joey Chan, as introduced earlier. I'm a Salesforce MVP. I've actually been working in the Salesforce ecosystem for around 12 years now. So, I'm also 18 times certified, also privileged to be #1 rated developer on the exchange. So, first things first. So, based on our discussion, it's good that we are actually already on day 2. Today, we'll actually be talking about interaction channels. You'll notice that it only comprises of 10% of the certification exam. But you'll notice in actual reality, these are something very important for you to set up, right? So my goal right for today is to be able to show you at least a demo of some of the most common ways how some of these interaction channels are going to be used, right? So we'll be talking about the Experience Cloud, mobile phone, email, web chat, and social, right? Sorry, there's some noise. Yep. So and then based on those things, we'll basically just go through some of the pros and cons and why would you want to use that interaction channel, and then some of the design considerations whenever we're dealing with that. All right. So just keep hold of your questions. So feel free to post it in the chat, and then we can go through that later on. Right. So as mentioned, so Experience Cloud. So for those that are more familiar with the platform, it used to be called Community Cloud. But before that, there used to be what we call a customer portal or partner portal, right? So it got changed from the portal to Community Cloud and Experience Cloud. So what is it, right? So it's basically like a website where your customers, your partners can actually log in, see some of their records, see some of their cases, and things like those, right? And phone is, of course, this talks about the typical voice calls. So let's say if you're running a call center operation and you have you need to be able to provide support through a phone call. Typically, for example, for let's say a credit card company, they would have their own hotline, right? So this is another software that they can use. And then email. So we'll be talking about how we can actually set up an email to case. And then what is web to case? So live chat and social media. I'll go through each of these later on. So stay tuned. All right. So first things first. So what is Experience Cloud, right? So it's basically a tool that you can use in order to build branded portals for partners or customers. So one of the features that you can do here is you can actually build knowledge articles. So what are knowledge articles? So they're basically a collection of frequently asked questions, things that people normally ask about your product, how to troubleshoot an item, or services that may help a customer figure out an answer by their own, right? And then this is also another way where you could actually allow your customers or partners to log cases within Salesforce. So this is actually a sample of what it can actually look like. So we have a home page with your logo at the top. And then from here, there could be some navigation links going to different sections of the page, right? So it's literally a full-blown website. Take note, even though there are actually built-in templates by Salesforce, this is something that you can totally customize with Lightning Web Components. So basically, if you can actually mimic any kind of website to make it pixel perfect according to the brand that you have on your company. So I'll actually be giving a quick demo of Experience Cloud in terms of what it is and what you can do with it, right? So first things first, I'm actually logged in to Salesforce. We have a developer edition account here. And then from here, what we can do in order to set up an Experience Cloud is go to Digital Experiences and then under All Sites. I've actually already created a sample one here. So for example, e-bikes, this is something that you can install yourself if you want. So what we can do is just to show you how the builder looks like. I'll start with a preview. Actually, let's do it directly here. So you can click on the URL to go directly to the page with the demo. So this is actually a sample of an Experience Cloud site that you can build using Salesforce. So let me refresh this. It's actually moving. So you'll notice there's actually a video running in the background. You can click on Explore More. You have different bikes. And then from here, you can, for example, select your own bikes. There's the Product Explorer. So you can imagine it's something like a shopping cart, right? So this is something that you can allow for example, your customers to buy additional products from you, right? And then from here, you can explore different product families that you have. So in this case, Electra. And then with regard to the Service Cloud implementations and the Service Cloud certification, the important thing here is being able to allow the users to create cases. So in this case, you could simply go to the page, create case, and then we can, for example, go to set the category, set the priority, if it's high or medium, what's the case reason, let's say installation problem, and then installation. And then as soon as you submit, it automatically creates a case inside Salesforce. So you'll notice, because I'm actually logged in here, there's a sidebar that can actually bring me directly to all of the cases that I have. So this is already the actual record that that internal support team can actually look at. So you'll notice we have the subject line, the description, and things like those, right? And then we can add additional comments here. From here, there's also another view where you could also show the different cases that you have, whether it's recently viewed or all of my cases, and then all of the open cases. So from the back end, I'll just show you how it looks like from the context of a service personnel. So a person could be using, for example, either this one or the console. We could, for example, all open cases. So you'll notice this is actually the one that we created earlier, right? So this already includes the installation, mechanical, and things like those. Another view that users could be using is the service console. So it's somewhat similar, but the nice thing about the service console, it can actually give you a tabbed view of all of the things that are pertinent. From here, for example, let's say if you want to get the details of the owner, it will simply open up new tabs within that. And then if there's any, for example, it's linked to a contact or an account, then you could also just click on it. And then let's say if you have newer cases popping up here, let's say along the way, if you're working on something, new comes up, you could actually easily switch between each of these. All right. And then going back here, this is how you can actually build the Experience Cloud. So from here, take note, this is actually something that you can install. So from here, you could actually go to create case page. Let me go back to the builder. Here we have the home page, right? And then we have the compact header. And then right now we're actually on the create case. So this is basically how you can actually build your own community cloud or experience cloud. What you can do is create case form. Let's create a new page here. Standard page, flexible layout, create case. And then from here, we can, for example, add the component named create case form, drag it all the way here. And then what we have to do here is we have to specify an action. So for those familiar with Salesforce, there's actually an action or a button within the object. So from the case object, there is the action here. I believe we have a standard one named new case, so we can just use this. Let's see, action in the publisher, we have to use new case for both. So you'll notice it added this one. I'll go ahead and publish it. And then let me just quickly check the URL. So it's using /test create case, right? What I can do then is open up the link. From here, click on this. This is now our own custom page. So from here, you can then, for example, create new case, subject, and then script the new case page. All right. So feel free to just post your questions for now. And then, of course, let's say if you have a custom action, let's say if you want a different set of fields to be shown in this one, so all you have to do is create a new action. And then create record, right? So new case, custom, say sample one, and then case. You could then select the different fields that you want to show, and then you can determine which one's required or not. So this is one of the quickest ways you can actually set up a way for your customers or partners can create cases within Salesforce. So going back to the presentation. So why would you want to use that, right? So in many cases, if you're serving your customers, it helps to actually empower them with capabilities to solve their own problems on their own, right? So take note, in terms of setting it up, you will actually need to buy additional licenses in order to give your customers login access, right? So part of that is you need Experience Cloud licenses, and there are actually many kinds depending on what you need. There's actually a login-based billing, and there's also member-based. So depending on how many you need, let's say you need 1,000 licenses, there's corresponding prices depending on that. Or there could be you could actually be buying, for example, 10,000 logins, and then per month, and then those 10,000 logins can be shared across 5,000 users. It depends on how many users are logging in and how often, right? So you need to decide which appropriate license would be fit for the users. And of course, because you're actually building like your own website, it actually needs a lot more time in order for you to set it up, right? Of course, part of that is being able to give a much better service, right? So part of it is allowing them access to the knowledge base, for them being able to browse through the different articles, things that they can do or use in order to fix their own problems, right? So it's also basically a full-blown portal, wherein it's not just cases. They can actually, for example, if you want, they could get access to custom objects. They could get access to whatever it is that they purchased. You could create your own, in a sense, marketplace wherein they could purchase additional products or services all within this portal. All right. And same thing is being able to access their own Salesforce data specific to the customer. All right. Any questions so far, Kiati? Or should we go ahead?
No questions for now. Let's go ahead with the
Mhm.
slides, and once your
All right.
session is done, then we can go through the questions.
Sure.
Yeah.
Next one is the phone. So take note, this is something that we won't be able to demo, but I'll be able to show you like a video of how it looks like. So here, what basically is what you see is one of the user interface that, let's say, a customer's representative can see, right? So you'll notice like literally it's like a phone, right? So somebody could actually be answering a phone, or answering a phone call, or actually calling outbound calls. So this could also be used by a sales representative. For example, they have they're doing outbound calls, and then they have a list of 50 numbers to call one by one on their day job, and then they can then indicate, hey, is this person interested? What's the feedback and things like those, right? So this is part of the site Lightning Service Console, and then from there they can, for example, there's going to be an incoming call. The nice thing about using Salesforce is that typically we have customer data in our system, right? So let's say I have my own phone number. So let's say if I call the company and they have in their Salesforce the record to find number, they can actually immediately know that it's me calling, and it actually can open up the contact record, and the person can immediately see that, hey, it's Joey Chan that's calling, and these are the things that I bought from that company. What are the different assets, things that are pertinent in order um, to help me better, because they already know what are the type of products that I bought from them. So imagine, let's say, if you're Salesforce, you have a lot of products, right? So we're talking about Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Experience Cloud, Marketing Cloud. There's so many others, right? So how would they know which one I bought, and how can they effectively help me, right? So they're actually leveraging all of that information in one place. So typically, it's being used in call center environments. So CTI is traditionally what's being used. What is CTI? It's actually stands for computer telephony integrations, so or interfaces. So basically, in the traditional environment, you typically have phone lines. So literally a phone that people are picking up, right? So it can actually integrate with those and automatically dial numbers and things like those. There's actually a newer feature launched recently, I think around 2 years ago, called Service Cloud Voice. So with this, it's basically all integrated already within Salesforce. You don't necessarily need to purchase additional integrations with third-party tools. All right. So this is a demo. Let me just make sure I can share that.
I think we lost Joey. Just give him a few minutes, he'll be back. Meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop in the questions in the chat box. All the questions will be taken after the session. Yes, he's back.
Sorry about that. They said the brave crashed. All right. Let me share my and just make sure there's audio. Um,
Screen is visible.
yeah. All right. Can you see it?
Yes,
Can you let me know if you can hear it?
yes, it's we can see.
Salesforce Service Cloud Voice uses intelligent telephony to increase agent productivity and better serve customers from anywhere. Agents can now handle phone calls with the same workspace and intelligent productivity tools used for digital channels. When agents are online, they can answer calls right inside of Omnichannel with intuitive controls to transfer, mute, hold, and end calls without leaving the service console. With intelligent IVR, they already know what customers are calling about before answering, like questions about billing, and can see a complete view of the customer with the Customer 360 platform, including integrated data like billing history and past service transactions. While real-time transcription captures calls as they're happening so agents can focus on resolving the issue instead of writing notes. And Einstein Article Recommendation pulls up helpful articles about the policy that agents can send to customers for more information based on content of the call in real time. Then, agents can be guided through processes step by step, like issuing refunds or signing customers up for new policies with lightning flows. While Einstein Next Best Action automatically suggests next best steps by using intelligence to pool information from calls transcribed in real time. At the end of the call, the recording and transcript are attached to the case, and Einstein Case Wrap-Up reduces average handle time by predicting case fields. Contact center supervisors can also monitor voice calls the way they monitor digital conversations, like using keyword flagging to choose which calls to monitor at any time, and sending agents notes in real time, all while managing remotely with the enhanced Omnichannel Supervisor console. See how to easily set up cloud telephony, get running quickly, and unify your call center with Salesforce Service Cloud Voice.
All right. So let me just quickly log in again. All right, going back to this presentation. So what are the pros and cons of using that, right? So of course, many of you already know that being able to talk to a person is highly personalized, right? So it basically allows you to talk to someone hopefully very knowledgeable about what it is.
Interrupt you, Zoe. Can you please make it full screen?
Yep. All right.
Presenter mode.
Let me share it again.
Yeah.
Yep. Can you see now?
Yes.
There you go. So basically, it allows you to create a highly personalized service, right? Because you have someone talking on the call. So it also helps with faster case resolution in terms of being able to solve problems. Because, for example, you could already easily describe what's actually happening and suggest solutions immediately upon that conversation, right? Another way it can help is allowing you to see, for example, from the organization's perspective, the different call metrics, right? For example, hey, what's the time it takes to for a person to have that call? What's the call resolution time? Is it 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes? These are some of the things that's actually being tracked in a larger scale. Let's say if you have 100 or 500 service personnel, those numbers need to be aligned with certain metrics, right? And that's actually how each agent is actually going to be assessed. So, what's the problem with having a phone service? It's actually one of the most expensive ways to service a customer because each time somebody is calling, you need to actually have one person dedicated to that call, right? I don't know. I haven't seen anybody be able to do more than one call at a time. So it's not likely that they're able to focus on the call, right? And of course, with that, it's not actually scalable. And it also requires some setup work in terms of, let's say, if you're using the CTI, it requires some setup in terms of buying the hardware. And as mentioned, you need more people in order to handle those phone lines, right? So let's say if you suddenly have a major disruption and you have 200, 300 people calling, you need to have that infrastructure too, right, to be able to service that. And of course, typically what happens is you have a really long wait time. It could be what 20, 30 minutes or sometimes even more than an hour, right? So and then probably at that point, your customer will just give up or just find something else, right? So next one. Any questions, by the way? Or we can actually go through the questions later after we're done with everything.
Yes, once you are
All
complete.
right,
Yes.
sure. So what is email to case? It's actually one of the simplest ways you can actually create a case within Salesforce. So one of the ways you can do that is by creating like support at yourcompanyname.com. So what you could do is, for example, simply set it up in Salesforce. Any email that you send to it will just automatically create a case in Salesforce. So I'll just do a quick demo of that. What you can do is search for email case in setup. I've actually already enabled it. What you could do is create a new routing address. So let's say, let me go back and just delete this one. By the way, how are we on time? From here, you could set where the emails will be coming from, if you want to create a task, and who would be the assigned owner. In this case, I'll just make it create priority of medium, and then origin is email. And then I'll save it. What this will give you is this specific long email address, right? You have two options. You can, for example, email this directly. email. Case. Yeah. You can send it to that email, but of course you don't want that because it's too long, right? What you would want is the shorter one, which is something like support@cloudjet.com. In this case, I can verify this. Let's check. Actually, I sent an email earlier, right? So you'll notice this is the email to case demo that I created. So within a few minutes, we're able to create a way for our customers to send cases within Salesforce. And then, of course, now that it's set up, we should be able to send an email to that. But of course, we still have to forward the emails from joey@cloudjedi.com over to that email address for it to work. So just something to keep in mind that you could, for example, forward all emails from here to this so that it would then go to Salesforce directly. All right. From there, as mentioned, we can set the owner, the priority, and the origin. And if you have multiple different regions or different multiple product lines, you could have multiple email cases. So depending on the structure, you could assign it to a corresponding user in Salesforce. All right. So pros and cons. It's really simple and very easy to set up, and it is actually something very familiar to customers or anybody that would need your help. So it's basically as simple as sending an email, right? So and most people actually already know about how to do that. The problem there is it's very hard to determine the reason and purpose of the case unless you actually read it, right? We actually have limited options for providing additional information. So that's actually where the next one would come in, which is the web to case. So web to case allows you to embed forms in your websites that automatically create sales cases in Salesforce. For those that may be familiar, it works similar to web to lead, except that it's actually creating cases.
Sorry,
So,
Zoe, could you please click on the present button so that the slide...
Yep, sure. Yep, go ahead. So here you go. So from here, we can then generate a simple HTML form that can be branded according to your company specifications, right? And then it's also something quite simple and very fast to implement. So what I'll show you right now is how you could do that within Salesforce. So what you could do is simply go to the setup and then web to case. You first have to turn this on, enable web to case, and then we won't be enabling the CAPTCHA here. We could set the default case origin. In this case, it's going to be the web. And then from here, we could also indicate what's going to be the default response. So normally, whenever a case is submitted, you want some confirmation email to be sent to the user, right? So this is the template that it would use. So from here, you could specify the different fields that you want it to be added within that case. So let's say you could add the company. And then you could then, for example, just redirect the user to a thank you page. In this case, we'll just put our website and then click on generate. This is going to give us a very simple HTML form. So what I can do is simply paste it. In order to give you a demo, we'll just need to save it as the documents, sample demo to case.html. course, this won't actually look pretty, mainly because this is using just a standard one that Salesforce gave, right? So this is basically how it looks like right now. But it's actually fully functional. So let's say Chan from sample web case description company name. As soon as I submit, you'll notice it actually will redirect me to the website. So normally, this is something that should be a thank you page. So it's something that you would want to brand depending on your company. All right. And then shortly after this, sometimes it takes a few minutes, but you can try to take a look at the cases. Let's see. I don't see one yet. So here you go. We have the sample web case, and these are the details. So you'll notice the web company, the phone, the name. We have the subject description. So, and then let's say if you have additional custom fields, you can actually already include that as a part of the available fields here. All right. Going back here. So what are the pros and cons for that? So similar to the email to case, it's also very easy to implement. You'll probably notice that there used to be support at salesforce.com, but Salesforce already disabled that. They now use a web form, right? The reason for that is basically they need to get as much information as they can upfront before the case is created, mainly because there's so many products right now, right? And so many teams that that case can be routed to. They want to be able to lower the case resolution time in order for them to route the case to the right person or the right team. So it allows you to add more fields in the form. So for example, if you're creating a case within Salesforce, it's going to ask you for organization ID. What are the replication steps? Is this affecting how many users and things like those, right? So problem with this one is there's always the potential for spam cases. And there's actually a limit of 5,000 cases per day. I believe this limit is something that you can ask Salesforce to increase just in case you're dealing with more than 5,000 a day. But of course, with like any bots, 5,000 is something that they can easily run through within a day. Problem with that, any new cases won't get into Salesforce, right? So it also needs somebody to actually design the page in order to make it branded according to your specifications, right? Next one is live chat. So you'll probably use this already. So whenever you visit a website, you could, for example, chat with the customer service, right? So one of the benefits of allowing this is actually an option of using Einstein bots for chatting with a person. So we won't actually be able to give you a demo here since we only have so much time, but I'll just give you a quick demo of how it actually looks like. So this is Salesforce own product page, right? And then this is the live agent. From here, you could click on the Let's Chat button. This will then start the process of chats. So you'll notice it's actually doing processing. What you will see here is this is what we call Einstein bot. So from here, you could actually ask questions automatically. So this is the bot that they've set up. And then it gives you certain questions, right, on what you want to do. So let's say if you want to get help with a product, it then tells you a certain answer, right? From there, is there anything else I can help you with? Yes. And then from here, I could, for example, chat live with a sales agent. So this then something that would then be routed to an actual person. So I won't be doing that for today since I wouldn't want to bug them. But for example, this is what you would see, right? So what are the different pros and cons with this? So it's something really easy to implement, right? One benefit of being able to leverage Einstein bot is lessening the time that an actual person needs to address the question, right? Because in many cases, for example, there's actually a lot of cases, for example, how do I reset my password? How do I forget my password? How do I get access to this certain thing? In many cases, those are easy questions to answer. So these are some of the best ways an Einstein bot can be leveraged. And depending on what they need, you could, for example, analyze the different questions that many people ask, and then create additional prompts depending on those. As a con of with the live chat is if you're doing an actual live agent session, you need actual people to be online to handle support requests, right? Right? So last thing is actually the social media. So we won't be able to do a demo of this too, but I'll give you a quick video later on. So what it allows you to do is listen to the social media, like for example, Twitter or Facebook. I'm not sure if some of you have noticed this, but there are certain companies, for example, airlines or certain product companies. For example, if you mention their brand or their or mention their brand, whether you use the at sign to mention them or just using their word, the company that they have, and then let's say if you're complaining or not, they can actually analyze that. It's what they call social listening. So based on certain keywords that they're actually listening to, they can then automatically create records within Salesforce that people can then act upon. And then from there, they can actually respond directly from Salesforce using a reply or a direct message. So here's a quick video. Let me stop sharing and share it again just to make sure I can share the audio. All right, can you hear it? Let me know.
Social customer service from Service Cloud and Social Studio gives you the power to provide great customer service at scale. Social media is increasingly the most popular channel customers use to find quick, decisive. Now, service agents can connect using one tool across multiple channels to deliver cross-channel customer care. Powered by Einstein AI, the Social Studio engine intelligently discovers, classifies, and routes cases directly to Service Cloud, allowing you to monitor issues while providing great customer care to your fans and followers on their preferred social channels. Einstein Intelligence finds service issues by classifying customer sentiment and keywords, automatically sending each issue to your agent console, letting service agents respond efficiently on the networks you choose to engage your audience. And with Lightning, it's even easier to set up unique agent views in the console for a better view of cases. Whether your customers are on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, Social Customer Service connects you to your customers directly with social comments or by taking public conversations to a private, direct message. And it's also mobile, allowing you to identify customer sentiment based on keywords and negative comments, send issues to Service Cloud while prioritizing customer care posts, and receive confirmation each case has been logged, all from your mobile device. Visit Trailhead to get started and see how to intelligently provide great customer service at scale with social customer.
All right. So yes, how are we doing with the time, by the way, Kathy? Let me share it again.
Yes, we are doing great, and we have few questions for you in case you want to take it.
Sure. Actually, I have one last slide. You can see my screen, right? So this is actually another video, but this is something that's a combination of everything that we just talked about. So try to see which features are being used in what. We didn't actually talk about the mobile, but this is something that you could look at. All right. Let me share my screen again. So this is the whole Service Cloud overview in terms of Salesforce own offering.
Service Cloud lets you quickly adapt to change to deliver trusted service from anywhere. First, scale your support by providing customers with self-service options. Here, they can resolve simple issues with access to guided processes and find answers to frequently asked questions. Then, customers can start a conversation with intelligent chatbots that can answer their questions, hand them off to an agent, or even take actions like making account updates to resolve issues immediately. This frees up your agents to focus on more complex support, like calls about billing issues, with each issue pushed directly to the right agent using AI and your routing rules from any channel. And it's all inside a single workspace with cloud telephony natively integrated, so agents can deliver trusted support from home or the office. Customer 360 also unifies data across departments and integrated systems, so they have a complete customer view for everything. Quick access to knowledge articles keep agents up to date, while built-in AI recommends the right article or next best action to either help the agent or share with the customer. Agents also have access to automation tools like macros or step-by-step processes, like issuing a refund to resolve problems faster. Meanwhile, supervisors can coach their teams from anywhere with real-time conversation monitoring and actionable analytics. And when customers need support in the field, like roadside assistance, your field service team is equipped with an intelligent dispatch console, prioritizing essential jobs first, matching them with the right resource. And it's synced with an intuitive mobile app that has all the customer information and processes needed to complete the job safely and efficiently. Finally, respond to changes in business needs with agility using drag-and-drop tools. Adapt quickly to solve customer issues faster from anywhere with Service Cloud.
All right. So that's actually it, though. So you'll notice it actually gave you a demo of, for example, the voice Service Cloud voice, and things like being able to respond to different requirements depending on who's available, who's the type of skill set. One thing we didn't talk about that's actually out of scope for this one is in the demo is the field service. Take note, that's a separate certification. So for some of you, some may be interested in that. The Service Cloud, I believe, is actually a prerequisite if you want to take the field service one. All right. With that, that's actually it. Any questions?
Thank you, Joey, for such an insightful session with all the demos. There are a few questions for you. I'm going one by one. Rohan is asking, can this process be automated? Like people can call and they can self-register their cases similar to email to case or web to case scenarios? If yes, can you please quickly brief about it?
I'm not sure what's the context here. Is it talking about the Service Cloud voice?
Yes, it seems like that only to me as well.
I'm actually not sure if Service Cloud voice allows that, but I've actually built an application before as a prototype that can actually do that. For example, you could build, for example, using Twilio to have a phone number that people can call, and then that can record the voice call, the voice message and then create a record in Salesforce with the recording. So I'm not sure if that's supported out of the box, but that's actually possible.
Thank you for the answer. There's one more question. In on-demand email to case, we can't have custom or extra case field mapping. Also, we can't handle case creation failure. How to handle this cons or scenarios or any alternatives?
Hold on. So the first question
from Ritika
Sorry.
Patel.
I'm actually looking for that.
There's a very big question. You can check that one.
So in the email to case, we can create custom extra case field mapping. You're right. That's actually the problem with email to case. You cannot actually add additional case fields, right? The problem. That's why one option that you can do is using web to case. So that way they can then you can then create a small page where they can add additional information. And at the same time, you could then show or hide fields depending on what you need. And you could also make certain fields required depending on the product they're purchasing, right? So that's actually what I would recommend. In terms of case creation failure, you don't actually really have that much options here. So I'd actually recommend just going with the web to case.
Yes, so there's one more question.
Any other?
Do we need to provide that long routing address for the customer? Is there a way to customize or shorten the routing address?
No. Actually, as mentioned earlier, the goal is for you to be sending over a short email address, right? Something like support@yourcompanyname.com. The reason why there's actually that validation earlier is that you could tell Salesforce, hey, this is an email address that I own, support@company.com. And then you could tell it, hey, any emails that goes to that email address should be forwarded to that longer email address, because you don't want to be sending that long email address to your customers, right? I just use that because it's going to take us much more time for me to set up the forwarding too.
Thank you. We have one more question. Community Cloud or Experience Cloud, can we have 2 columns in page layout? If so, how can we achieve this?
In the page layout, yes, technically, I'm trying to make sure I understand the context. And I think it's talking about the detailed page, right? So the question there is how we can actually have 2 columns. The thing is, you can use the other layouts that's actually available within the options. Let's see, I can quickly share my screen again and then show you where it is. From here, you can actually change the layout. Let me change the test one. You could change the page settings here. And then under content layout, actually, let's see. Well, let me create a new one. I think it's not allowing me to create. So as soon as you create a standard page, this will actually give you some options in terms of the different layouts. Take note, it's possible for you to create your own layout. If let's say all of these layouts are not suitable for you, so you can actually use Lightning components to build your own layouts. All right.
Perfect. Thank you, Joey. Thank you for such an insightful session. We are very privileged to have you over here. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yes.
All right, great. Yeah, if you're all interested, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn too. I can actually send my my LinkedIn profile and just mention that you're from this group.
Everyone knows you, so
yeah.
no point of sending it out.
Yeah, just in case anybody wants to connect or what.
Yes. No worries. Thank you so much, Joey. So,
All right.
yes, the second speaker for the day is Ranjani Janardhan. Over to you, Ranjani, for knowledge management.
Thank you, Kathy. Let me introduce myself. Myself, Ranjani Janardhanan, and I'm working as a solution architect at UST. I'm a Salesforce certified system and application architect at Trailhead Ranger, and also I'm leading the Kochi Women in Tech Community Group. Okay. So first, let's see the agenda for today. So I will be explaining why we need to have knowledge in Service Cloud implementation and how we can actually start with the knowledge implementation. What are the different licenses or permissions that we need to start and build knowledge for Service Cloud, and data categories for knowledge. How can we improve the knowledge article search experience? And I'll be showing a demo on Lightning Knowledge, and last one will be Classic to Lightning Knowledge migration. Okay, so why knowledge? We all know knowledge is power. Okay, so knowledge actually increases the agent productivity. It helps agent to find out the solution easily. If any other agents have come across the same issue, it will be easier for the other agents to find out the solution easily, and they can resolve the cases faster. So it really helps to improve the agent productivity. And if we are providing access to the knowledge base to our customers, it actually reduces the number of cases that are coming to the case agents, and it increases the self-service capability of the customers. Okay. So to start with knowledge, I'm just showing you how can we, where all we need to go to start with knowledge in Salesforce setup actually. Okay, I will be doing a demo later. This, yeah. So first one is if you go to the service setup and you search for this, you can see this flow knowledge setup. From there, you can easily enable knowledge, and you can easily assign the authors, and you can even easily create the data categories in a 3-step wizard. And you can see knowledge and data categories setup in the setup area. This covers almost all the setup that we need to do for knowledge. I will be explaining that also later. And you can see the knowledge object. So from this knowledge object, like any other objects, we can create fields and relationships. We can create record types and page layouts, lightning record types. You can control the visibility of whatever you want to show in a page layout using record types. You can create field set validation rules, triggers, everything. Okay, and knowledge licenses and permissions. So if you just want to enable your users just to read the articles, you don't need any separate licenses for that. But of course, if users want to see the knowledge articles, someone will need to create and publish them. So for creating and managing and publishing the articles, you will need knowledge licenses. First, the best practice Salesforce is saying is first you give it to a smaller group, and then you can always buy more licenses whenever you need. And in the table, you can see some of the permissions that permissions for accessing the knowledge. Like for reading the knowledge articles, you need read article action. For managing, like whoever is creating, updating, and publishing the articles, they need a separate manage article permission. And knowledge admins, of course, they will also have an additional permission to delete the articles. Delete the plus the contributors permissions as well. Okay, so next, one important thing in knowledge article is data categories, because there can be a huge amount of knowledge articles. Like for companies, like they can have articles for employees, for their self-service, articles for customers, for partners. So we need to group them, or else I mean, we'll even if there are more articles, it will not do it will not give any use. So we have to categorize in a better way. So that data categories help you to categorize the articles in a proper way, so that it will be categorized in different categories. Okay. And there are some limits on this data categories. You can create up to a maximum 5 categories, but only 3 we can activate. And you can have 100 categories in a data category group. Actually, if we have 3 category groups, you can create 100 subcategories. And you can have 5 levels in a data category group hierarchy. I will be demoing that as well. And you so when you create an articles, you can add 8 data categories from a single data category group. Oh, so how can we improve the article search experience? So like if we have so many information in our articles, so the experience that the agents or the customers should be getting is also should be a good experience. Like if they something, they should get that proper response, proper article or proper help. Then only actually our purpose will be done. So some of the features that we can use to improve the search experience are this search highlights and snippets. So with whatever words or phrase that we are searching, these words and phrases will be highlighted in the search result. This we can do in the knowledge setting. We can just easily turn on the setting and it will do from the backend. And synonym groups. So synonym groups is like you can create synonym groups and add all the words or phrases that are related. So even if they are searching for a related word, you can bring this particular knowledge article within the synonym group. It actually improve the knowledge search experience. And promote articles. You can when you write articles, you can associate different keywords to the articles, so that what happens is if the user is searching for that particular keyword, that this particular article will be shown first. Then only the normal search criteria based on the articles based on the normal search criteria will be displayed. This particular article will be displayed first. And you can also add topics. With topics on articles, you can classify and search articles by assigning topics. Topics can be added from the article view or detail page. Okay, let's see a demo. Am I going too fast? Is it okay?
Yes, Ranjana, it's perfect. Go
okay. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, so this is actually one of my playground org. Okay, so this is a service setup form that I was explaining earlier. You can find the knowledge setup here. This is a 3-step wizard from which you can actually, you can see here actually, you can enable the lightning knowledge, you can select knowledge authors, you can organize your articles, you can actually create the data categories. Okay. So from here you can select the knowledge authors, and from here you can create categories. I'm not creating the data categories. I already did it once, so knowledge is activated. Let's go to this here in the setup. So this knowledge and data categories, these are the main setup area that we should be knowing. First, let us see the knowledge settings. This knowledge setting has a group of settings that we can, there are some general settings, there are some separate settings for lightning knowledge, there are some separate settings for classic knowledge, there are some knowledge one settings. So you can see this is the highlight relevant article text within search results, the one that I explained. We can also enable this autocomplete keyword search, autocomplete title search, etc. And here also there is one important thing, that is sharing settings. So there are two options to control the visibility of the articles. You can do it with data category visibility that I will be explaining later. And or if you check this option, if you enable this option, use standard Salesforce sharing, you will be able to share the articles like we do any like we do sharing settings for any other objects like account or contact. Like we can create honor based sharing rules or criteria based sharing rules, everything, and you can manage the OWD as well. So once this is enabled, this default data category visibility settings will be disabled. Now we have this validation status as well. Okay. Okay, anyway. So this validation status is something like if you have seen, if you have created support process in cases, it is something like that. This validation status is not something that we can manage from the object level. So we have to, if you need to add or edit or delete any values from the validation status checklist, you have to come here and add it. Now let's see the data category setup. Yeah. So this is the data category setup page. You can see active category groups, inactive category groups, and deleted category groups. So I have already created one and activated. You can activate or inactivate using this icon, and you can see the subcategories that I have created. So when you hover this categories, you can see different actions. You can add a sibling category, you can add a child category, or you can even edit, or you can even delete the category. Okay, and if you come to the data category visibility, from here you can decide which all data categories are visible. You can either give it all categories are visible, or none of the categories are visible, or you can even select the in a custom way. You can select okay, I have already selected all. You can select one by one. You want to show only a password policies related articles, that also we can do. Okay, I'm just adding it back and not updating. Okay, that's how we control the visibility using data category visibility. You can always go back to knowledge setting and make your change it to our sharing setting model. And so let me go back to, okay, let's see how we can actually make use of knowledge in the service console. So I'm in the service application. So what I have done is I have added this knowledge component in the case lightning record page. Okay, so here you can see the knowledge component, and it is displaying the suggested articles. This suggested article that also you can actually set here. The suggested articles will be showing based on the subject, case, reason, and case type. If it will go and see if the subject is matching with any of the articles, or case reason is matching with any of the article, or case type. Okay, so okay, the subject of my case was how to reset the password. So I could it just came in the suggested articles, and if you hover over this link, you can actually see the knowledge article details. This is a feature of lightning knowledge, like you can see, and you can search for more if you want. And here you have an advanced search filter. These are all like out of the box features. You can do this advanced filter using language, publishing status, validation status, record type, and you can also search with categories. Okay, that's it about the knowledge component in the case page. Now let's go to the knowledge tab and see the life cycle of a knowledge. Okay, so when you come to this knowledge tab, you can actually see three default list views, that are archived articles, draft articles, and published articles. Okay, so let's go to the draft articles, and let me create a new one. So this is this technical FAQ is the one that I created a record type, and let's give me a second. Okay, so let's okay. Okay. So I created this text area field, that is, I mean, it's a rich text field description. Okay, just adding some description, and in the in the knowledge page, you can actually add these fields: visible to customer, visible to partner, and if you select this, it will actually control the visibility to the customer, to the customers or partner, whatever it is. By default, it will be available in all the internal apps, and if we check this visible in public knowledge base, it will be visible to everyone. So I'm creating. Okay, I have created the article. Team, I have not added any button here in the lightning record page. Otherwise, you can even add the publish, delete, archive buttons here as well. Just let's go back to the list view. Okay, and let's try to publish the article. Okay. So I'm going to publish the article. You can even publish the article now, or even you can schedule it for a later time. And just click on the publish. You can see that article, how to demo Service Cloud, here. And you can see the versions here. And okay, I missed to add categories when I created the draft article. Yeah, I mean, if before publishing, we have to actually add the categories. Once it is published, it is kind of read only. So, and you can, here is the promoted search. Once the article is published, you can actually promote. Add the terms, like if I add test 3 or something like that, and if we search with test 3, this particular knowledge article will be displayed first. Okay, so that is about knowledge tab. So I was actually demoing the lightning knowledge. I just wanted to talk about the classic to lightning knowledge migration as well. So why should we migrating from classic to lightning? Here are some reasons. With lightning, so these are the advantages of the lightning knowledge when compared to classic. You can actually use drag and drop to attach files in lightning knowledge. Like I demoed, you can hover to see the details on an article in the knowledge component or a related list. If you just hover on that knowledge article, it will give you the pop-up of or the compact layout of the that particular article. You can create list views with different filters, and you can actually access the articles from phones or tablets or desktops, whatever you want. And there are some admin features as well, related to, features related to lightning knowledge. You can use record types. In classic, it is article types. So here you can actually manage the knowledge like we manage any other objects. Like I said earlier, you can create validation rules, record types, and moreover, you can create lightning record page using app builder. You don't have to customize or anything to change the view. I mean, in case of classic, you will have to use Visual Force in order to bring all this lightning record page features. And you can control, I mean, if as we have this record type features, you can control the control what users see using profiles and page layouts. Okay, as I could not do a demo for this classic to lightning migration, let me I have added a video here. We have this lightning migration tool in order to migrate our classic knowledge into lightning knowledge. So you can see the classic view and the lightning view here. They are saying as a best practice, we should always be doing the migration first in a sandbox and test it. Okay, that is the best practice. Don't do it directly in production. And so we have to switch to the lightning experience first, and then go to setup and search for this lightning knowledge migration tool. If you are not seeing this tool, you need to contact your account executive to enable it. So this is how the lightning migration tool looks like. It is it has some 5 or 6 step wizard. You need to agree this. You need to read and agree this terms and conditions, and also lightning knowledge migration documentation. And you need to be aware of what is happening. Okay, and now here what will happen is we have this different types of article types and article fields. So we will be mapping the article types to record types and custom fields to whatever fields we have in knowledge. Okay. So it will bring all the article types and all the fields, and here you can actually map the fields. It will show different types of article types and related fields. You can map the fields as well here. If you want to map, if you want to concatenate 2 fields and map to a single field, that is also possible. But you need to be prepared before that. You should have an Excel like this, and you should have a mapping before we actually do that. And just waiting for that. Okay, and that is it. Okay, now we are ready to begin the migration. So we need to be aware of one thing. So once we move to lightning knowledge, we can't go back to classic knowledge. And it will do some verification once you click begin. Yeah, your data migration is in process. After that, the entire classic data will be migrated into lightning. These are the steps, and you can see the data migration summary here. What are the different, I mean, it took only less time because this particular org had only 2, or you can see articles 4 of 4 migrated, only 4 articles. So it will not be the real life scenario. We'll have more articles, so it will take more time. You can see the they have given a detailed category of data migration, article migration. And Next step is, okay, next step is activate. Okay, there is a lightning knowledge post migration checklist that you should go through that and be aware of it, what all things that we have to do. We'll have to enable the knowledge tab, we'll have to enable the record types and page layouts for different profiles, everything that we should keep in mind. Yeah, now the lightning knowledge is activated. Okay, so if you just search for lightning knowledge migration tool, you will be able to get this. This is a video from Salesforce itself. And let's, you seeing my entire screen, or just let me stop sharing. Share again. Okay. Okay, so that's it. And I hope we have covered everything in knowledge management. We have gone through the life cycle of knowledge. We have gone through how we can manage knowledge and how we can use it in case, and how we can increase the adoption, and what are the key points that we should be knowing while migrating from classic to lightning. I missed one thing, just wanted to show you. If you want to I mean, there are different types of reports that we can create on light knowledge. Just like you can create reports and actually understand how much or how extent the articles are being used or viewed. You can see here. Okay, you can create reports on knowledge articles, knowledge and article views and article votes, etc. So that and keyword search from the report, you can understand how extend that particular, or are there any articles that are not needed anymore, and we can delete the articles, and we can plan the archival strategy or deletion strategy for articles. Or if you can actually create article search reports and find out like if there are any other articles are needed, actually, I mean, users are actually getting the correct articles or not. There are different types of options. It was something that I missed. Yeah, and that's it, team. Any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Ranjani, for such an insightful session. We do have a question for you. The question is why we can't go back to classic knowledge once we go for lightning knowledge?
That is a Salesforce setting. It's not something that we can control.
Okay. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat. Meanwhile, I would request both of our speakers to come on the camera once. Let's click a screenshot of us together in a frame. Yes. Hasti, can you please come on the camera once?
No, she might not be there.
Yeah, she might have just left the laptop and went somewhere doing something. No worries. Let's
You
get
can
started.
actually cut the, I mean, she was early.
Just cut and copy paste her over here.
Yeah.
No worries. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for coming up. Thank you, Ranjani. Thank you, Joey, for accepting my invite and being here. Okay, we have one more question for you, Ranjani. Is there a way to control article review time through customer declaration instead of programming?
Article review time in the sense like publishing the articles, right? I didn't get that question clearly. Is there a way to control article review time? No, we can actually do it from that setup only. We can define the time only through the publish window.
Thank you, Ranjani. By the time, I just want to say, all you guys, thank you for joining us in on a Sunday evening. Also, the questions will be up just after we close this event. Maybe 2 to 3 questions will be up over with LinkedIn and Twitter channels. Please just follow the rules and answer over there. You might end up winning certification vouchers and Salesforce swag kits. So Hasti is here. Let's click one more screenshot. Thank you so much, APNs, for sponsoring us. Thank you, speakers, for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Did I miss this question? Can we add categories to knowledge search layout? I suppose I missed it.
Yes, there is actually, if you go to the advanced search criteria, search filter, you can add the categories into, add the categories in knowledge search that I had already demoed, I think.
Sounds perfect. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, speakers. Hope to see you again soon.